Hello everyone and welcome to the Activist Lawyer podcast. My name is Sarah Henry and I'm your host to this podcast, which offers a platform for lawyers to share their story and their journey into law and activism. Our guests will discuss the challenges and highlights of their work, as well as important cases, opinions on legal and political matters, and will offer up advice and tips for anyone interested in pursuing a career in human rights law, public interest law, or criminal justice. The Activist Lawyer podcast is brought to you by the Granite Podcast Studio. Thank you so much for listening. Today I am joined by Basira Paigham and Ebrahim from Rainbow Afghanistan, a non-profit organisation established to defend the rights, dignity and lives of members of Afghanistan's LGBTQ+ community. Their work is rooted in decades of structural discrimination, criminalising laws and deeply embedded cultural and traditional oppression that have made it extremely difficult for LGBTQ+ individuals, including gay, bisexual, lesbian, transgender, intersex, non-binary and queer people, to live freely and safely in Afghanistan. So today we discuss the work of Rainbow Afghanistan and also the legal barriers that exist and just the horrendous challenges that exist for the queer community in Afghanistan and also outside the diaspora as well. And this organisation is just fantastic and doing amazing work. We will share links and we do ask you to get involved and learn more about the work of Rainbow Afghanistan. Basira in particular is extremely passionate about this work, and yes, I hope you enjoy it. It's been lovely to learn about their work and I hope to follow the organisation as they grow and momentum builds. So please share and review the podcast episode where possible. We always appreciate that. Thank you. Hello everybody and welcome to today's episode of the Activist Lawyer podcast. I am absolutely delighted to cover such an important issue today, and I'm joined by Basira and Ebrahim from the Rainbow Afghanistan group and organisation. Welcome to the podcast.
Hello, thank you very much, Sarah, for this opportunity.
Not at all. I'm delighted to learn more about your work myself. I'm a little bit familiar with it, but I'm excited to share this very important work that you're doing and, of course, some of the context behind it, which is really vital. But first, Basira, could you maybe start by telling us a little bit about your background and what led you to become the founder of Rainbow Afghanistan?
Thank you very much. Well, first of all, I will tell a bit about Rainbow Afghanistan and then about myself. Rainbow Afghanistan is a non-profit organization registered in Berlin, but we operate globally, especially by focusing Afghanistan. So what we do, we support Afghanistan queer community who are inside Afghanistan, suffering from the regime, torture, social barriers, and so on. And also we support Afghan diaspora queer community who are around the world. What we do for Afghanistan queer community, we evacuated them to safe countries. It was one of our good accomplishments in last years. Plus, we support them financially to get first aid or shelter or any other needs, because they are really under oppression at the same time, no opportunity for them to get economic income and so on. So we support them through that. Besides that, what we do, we advocate for their rights globally by documenting their situation, providing policy recommendations for international agencies. At the same time, to Afghanistan laws and regulations. Right now we are working on a couple of solidarity platforms. So later I will talk about them more, that we will have more engagement for our international allies. And about myself, I am working as a researcher for queer community rights. At the same time, I am executive director for Rainbow Afghanistan.
Brilliant. So it sounds like you do have support, at least globally. And I know the situation within Afghanistan is extremely challenging and you're obviously providing much needed support, but you're not acting in isolation. And it sounds like you do have, have built up momentum for support for the organisation. How has that been going?
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm glad to say day by day, the supporters or the soldiers of justice, equality, allies for Afghanistan queer communities increasing. It really makes us more hopeful, more enthusiastic for what we are doing. However, there are challenge barriers by considering the current situation inside Afghanistan. Like, we couldn't register our organization inside Afghanistan because of what's going on, that we will talk about it later, like the regime, the social barrier, the legal barriers. But we are very lucky. We got the opportunity to get registered in Berlin. And at the same time, we're very lucky. There are many global allies who supports us for increasing or for empowering justice, equality, and amplify the voice of most vulnerable people, like queer community of Afghanistan. So yeah, like there are hope.
Brilliant. And you're so enthusiastic about your work. It's infectious, and I really hope to see the organisation grow. And I'm excited to talk about some of the plans you have in place. But first, Ebrahim, maybe looking at the legal landscape in Afghanistan around this issue for LGBTQ plus individuals. You are looking at it with a legal lens and coming at it from that perspective. Can you maybe take us through some of the specific challenges that the community faces under Taliban rule?
Thank you for having me. I'm grateful for the opportunity to be here and to engage in this important dialogue. Well, as we know, LGBTQ individuals face many challenges across different dimensions and layers, including individual level, social level, and structural level. This is the main and the most important thing that we should consider, that many LGBTQ people face structural challenges in Afghanistan. These challenges are reinforced through laws, policies, and institutional practices. While discrimination and violence existed in previous political periods in Afghanistan, under the Taliban rule, these pressures have become more formalized and institutionalized through strict legal and moral regulations and norms. So, as a result, LGBTQ individuals may face severe punishments, including arbitrary detention, long-term or life imprisonment, corporal punishments such as flogging, and even the threat of execution. So many individuals in Afghanistan could not even go out of their house, because if they appear in society and people see them, they could report them to Taliban. So Taliban may arrest them only by appearing them in the city, in the town. So structural challenges are the main issues that individuals like LGBTQ community face in Afghanistan nowadays. As I told, many punishments are considered for these people, including long-term imprisonment or even physical violence such as torture or battery and assault. So these are the main issues that LGBTQ community face nowadays in Afghanistan.
Thank you, Ebrahim. I'm wondering as well it must be very difficult to gather evidence and testimony from people who are willing to share what has happened to them, because you're working under very dangerous circumstances. And of course, individuals who are able to come forward have to be protected. How difficult is it to establish individual cases or kind of gather that testimony to show what is happening and to show the world what's happening?
Well, of course, this is an important issue in a process that we document the cases while interviewing beneficiaries and LGBTQ community. We try to use some secure methods and tools to communicate individuals in Afghanistan and document their cases, gather data, and documents their evidence. So we try to use secure tools, and first we try to make assure to trust us. When they trust us, they can then share their information and data with us. One of our main challenges in Afghanistan now is that in LGBTQ cases are really sensitive. So sometimes we face challenges to gather data and information from across Afghanistan, but we try our best to gather as much as data and information we can from Afghanistan, from the situation the LGBTQ people face. So we do our best to do this.
Very, very difficult. But Basira, as well as gathering that data and, trying to explore legal options for people and for individuals, Rainbow Afghanistan has been working to support and uplift the LGBTQ plus community in Afghanistan despite these immense obstacles. What are some of the key initiatives and the programs that you have run, and how have they made a difference to people on the ground?
Thank you. Well, I would like to say for our activities inside Afghanistan, the legal advices we support or preparing their legal referrals that we work on. I won't go ahead a lot with details because of the security and all of these things, but we are supporting them through that, of course. But beside that, one of our main focuses is advocacy, is awareness, is fighting against stigma. This is from educational, from awareness, advocacy perspective, I would go ahead further because this is where we really need our justice allies around the globe to support us, to join us in this shared route toward equality, toward support for those who need the most, like the most vulnerable people. We created Afghanistan Rainbow Path Network. That network is a shared home of researchers, writers, advocates, activists, international organizations or communities that are working for justice, that are amplifying the voice of most vulnerables, like a queer community. I would like to share the form, and I would be happy if have more allies who join us. So what this shared home do? This shared home do the awareness, do share the experience of maybe someone from Ireland, from Cork, from Galway. They want to share their experience as an advocate, as individually, how they feel, how they go ahead for justice and amplify their voice. They stood up for justice, for equality, and we share our experiences. We share our knowledge, how to support each other, how to give hope, at the same time give the motivation of acceptance, to accept each other, to support each other. So this is one of our platforms that we have created. The next one is our campaign, the campaign of As I Am for queer Afghans, to accept, to help Afghan LGBT people, first of all, to motivate them, accept themselves the way they are without fighting with themselves. And then in a social level, in family level, social level, a bigger picture, to support each other, to respect each other the way we are, not trying to put queer or lesbian or gay or trans in a box of social norm, be specifically with this character, be this character. No, accept them the way they are. We are very beautiful, we are amazing, we are unique with our colorful identities, with our colorful expressions. So this campaign is part of that. In Afghanistan, we see Man Hamina, I am the way I am, as I am. So this campaign is another thing, we are working on that, and I would be very happy I will share the form. So I hope more of our supporters join us more of our supporters join us and be with us in this road toward equality, toward justice, toward a colorful Afghan queer future.
Brilliant. And this message resonates with so many communities as well. You know, not just Afghanistan, people who are in the diaspora from Afghanistan, but in particular, it must be challenging to both work with people who have fled and have escaped persecution. The difficulties are still there, which is what your organisation and the Rainbow Path Network is trying to do, which is really beneficial to people who are in a position where they might still feel very vulnerable. So it's about empowering them and celebrating them. And that's a lovely reference to the Afghanistan word as well. With the rise of global awareness, though, do you feel that people are becoming more supportive? And you know, I think maybe listeners who might not understand what happens maybe when somebody does flee, the level of support and the care that they still need after that. And I know yourself, Basira, you've continued to face persecution for your activism. Can you maybe tell us a little bit about, you know, what kind of challenges you faced personally doing this work and how difficult it has been on a personal level?
Well, if I talk about when I was in Afghanistan, I was working hidden. I was working underground, and even my family didn't know exactly like what sort of activism I'm doing. They only knew like, yeah, I'm activist for equality, for gender equality, for women's rights, for against forced marriage, against child marriage. So these are my advocacy and activism. But they didn't know I'm working for queer community because I was afraid. If they knew I wasn't here, like God forbid, but I was in graveyard, to be honest. But when I came to Ireland, I got the chance like, oh, okay, now it's the time to fight openly, strong and loud. But unfortunately, I faced a lot of barriers here as well. The first thing was like Afghan community here in Ireland, they limited their interactions to me. Muslim community, they limited their interaction to me. But I'm very pleased after these years. They know me better. They know who, like, there is a stereotype, like anyone who is queer, please forgive my language. Anyone who is queer, like they are promoting immorality. This is what they stereotype. Like if you tell them like, yeah, I'm a queer woman, they will label you as a bad, like from moral perspective, like, promoting immorality. But later when they know like what I'm doing, I am like them. Like there is not any difference from that perspective of being a human with passion, with values, with support, with enthusiasm. And then they are getting closer to me. I'm very pleased to that, and I'm planning to work with them more and more, engage more and more. Like why there is not any space for hating each other. In Ireland we have laws, we have regulations, we have amazing society that accept each other, despite there are some negative things, but I don't want to focus on them. There are a lot of positive things to use from that opportunity to build a better, more understanding, more acceptance, more respect to each other. So hopefully it's day by day becoming better and better, our connection, our understanding from each other. But still, like my family inside Afghanistan, they suffer. And I sometimes try my best not to be that loud on social media, because social media is kind of like, it might trigger those who know my family inside Afghanistan. But most of like my activism are in English language. Why? Because this is like another thing I can do. But hopefully I will try my best to make the situation for them better as well. And then I can be more loud, more energy for everyone. So there are barriers personally I have experienced. And when I go to my other fellows, Afghan queer, who are like in third country, in destination countries like in Ireland or Germany, in Sweden, they face a lot of barriers as well. Exclusion. Like we are excluded excluded from special events. We crave our belongings. We miss what we had inside Afghanistan, like the celebrations, occasions. We miss them, but we are excluded for being queer, for being like ourselves. But hopefully these type of platforms will help us to give that awareness, like let's engage each other, let's keep included each other, because this is the beauty of our society. This is the beauty of life, to give love to each other.
Wow, well, you couldn't do more than you're already doing, Basira. And can I just say, in 2021, you were recognised by the BBC as one of the 100 most influential women of the year. Now, I know you probably are uncomfortable a little with me sharing that, but already you've made such a huge impact. And I know that you've been involved in, working with young people in Ireland as well. So this organisation is having an amazing outreach so far. So we can only hope that the momentum keeps building, because it's so important. And I thank you for sharing your own experiences as well. Ebrahim, maybe back to you, just in terms of, we have spoken about international accountability in terms of Afghanistan and the regime's treatment of women on this podcast before, and how the international community should be doing more to support them. And I'm wondering what your opinion is in terms of what needs to change at international level to offer meaningful protection for LGBTQ plus community in Afghanistan and those who, are fleeing persecution because they belong to that group.
Well, from a protection perspective, international legal organizations need to move beyond general statements and focus on practical life-saving interventions. I would like to focus on this issue because it's really important relating to LGBTQ Afghan people. So first, these organizations must strengthen confidential identification and case management systems. High-risk individuals need to be identified and their cases should be handled individually with continuous risk assessment, not generally, because many organizations focus on providing only general statements. And also there is an urgent need to expand safe pathways, including humanitarian visas, emergency evacuations, and resettlement programs. For many people, especially LGBTQ individuals in Afghanistan, protection inside the country is simply, it's not sufficient. Mm-hmm. So more measurements are needed. In addition, for those who cannot leave, organizations should invest in country protection mechanism, like safe houses, emergency cash assistance, and access to basic services without exposing identities is really important. Further, legal protection is critical, as we know. This includes providing confidential legal advice, documenting human rights violations, and ensuring that the principle of non-refoulement is respected, so that individuals are not returned to situations where they face serious harms and violence. Also, organizations must prioritize mental health and psychological support as many individuals are dealing with trauma, isolation, and long-term psychological issues. So they need to receive psychological support and mental health support. In addition to these, digital protection is really important too. This has become essential. People need tools, especially in LGBTQ individuals, need tools and training to communicate safety and avoid to expose them in a situation that can affect them, and in this situation they may be identified, so they need to be trained to avoid these situations. Finally, international actors and organizations should engage in more targeted advocacy, as I mentioned previously. seriously, not only raising awareness or providing general statements, but also putting real pressure on governments to create protection pathways and respond to urgent cases. Totally, protection in this context must be fast, confidential, and centered on the individuals that are identified as LGBTQ people. So the main point I should focus is international organizations should focus on specifically on LGBTQ individuals, not on only providing general statements as we observe nowadays. So it's really important that these organizations should focus.
Brilliant. That's so well summed up. Thank you for that, Ebrahim. And Basira, looking forward and looking ahead at the hopes for the future of Rainbow Afghanistan, what events or are there any initiatives or projects that you have coming up that you'd like to share?
Well, we are going to have a couple of webinars and online awareness platforms beside the campaign we are doing in our network. So we are planning to do that. And most of our webinars hopefully will be public. So I would be glad if anyone with a research background or activism background with queer community would like to share their experiences in terms of solidarity for Afghanistan queer community, in terms of how can we be allies without direct support, but indirect support, emotional support, or as an allies, global allies, how can we be support? They can approach to us anytime they would like. We would be very glad. Our door for our more network, solidarity network in Afghanistan Rainbow Path network is open. So these are our plans that we are working. Hopefully there will be more and more, and I would love to have more supporters, even if they could support us with following what we are doing, with giving comments, feedbacks, like how can we work more effective. So of course these are our plans.
Well, I'm confident that you will get that support, and we are happy to share the links to all of your work so that people can get involved and can follow your work at least, which is really, really important. But finally, Basira, what message would you like to leave with our listeners just about the fight for LGBTQ plus rights, especially in countries where individuals are most at risk, like Afghanistan?
I would like to say we need to know the value of what we have now in other side of the world. Of course, appreciating what we have got, the blessings, doesn't mean we should ignore those who doesn't have these blessings. We can be a support for them, maybe in a very tiny and small way, but still support them to have these blessings there in their life as well. So this is my message. Afghan queer community, they really need anyone's support, even tiny bit of support, help, listening to them or giving them the platform to amplify their voices would be a great help. So this is my message. Let's know our blessings worth and be thankful for that. But at the same time, let's use this ability to support others, to get the blessing, to have the happy life, as we all are different parts in one whole body of humanity.
Basira and Ebrahim from Rainbow Afghanistan, I am so delighted that you could join us today and wish you every success with the organisation. And we will, of course, follow and support your work where possible.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for creating this space and for having me.
Thank you. Thanks both. Thanks everyone for joining me today. If you like the show, please remember to share and leave a review if you have a moment. And you can also check out our website, www.activistlawyer.com, where you will see some blog articles written by our guests and contributors, as well as some fabulous Activist Lawyer merchandise.
This podcast was recorded in Granite Podcast Studio. Interested in starting up your own podcast but don't know how? Granite Podcast Studio can help. Record your podcast in our state-of-the-art studio, which is based in the heart of Newry City. Our studio has cutting-edge and user-friendly technology and can seat up to 4 people. We also provide an editing service for our team using your guidance and editing notes to provide you with a flawless finished product, leaving your listeners wanting more. For more information on how you can get started, visit www.granitepodcaststudio.com.